Welcome back to WC Bricks for another Gotham City update, and here we have Ace Chemicals, and it's in a little bit of a worse for wear state, should we say. Last week, or last update, I tried to get the docks area looking how I wanted it to, and I'm really struggling with it. Due to the limited space that I have there, it is proving to be quite the challenge to get everything fitted in that I want to do so. And Ace Chemicals has been one of the biggest problems. This has been attached to a base plate, which means I can only move the whole base plate, not the building itself. I've always wanted to have all of the buildings freestanding so I can move them just a little bit. So I thought, let's just get it done now, and then it's going to really help with sorting out the docks area. So I've made this new base for it. It's exactly the same size as before. 3 plates fixed, it's nice and sturdy. Now all I need to do is transfer all of this onto the build, and then I can put it back in the docks, and then I can start experimenting more with its exact location. Now, the other good thing with doing it now, I can make the amendments I wanted to do on the building. Some of the walls I want to change out a little bit, change a few bricks here and there so it's a different colour, just to give it that more worn down look. It's very tidy looking at the moment, which I don't like. And also on one wall as well, there is another detail that I'd like to add, which could potentially add more storytelling details a little bit further down the line, or add a new scene to the Gotham City, which won't take up too much room. So it's just things I'm thinking about, trying to forward plan a little bit further than I normally do. So anyway, let's carry on putting all of this back onto the base plate and see how it comes out. And it's taken all day to get here, but it was well worthwhile doing so. A lot happier with the brick effect that I've got on here now, rather than just having the masonry bricks on there, mixing them up with some cheese wedges and some plates of different colours. I do think adds a little bit more to the build. And I have altered the design on the side here as well. I've done away with the doorway and put some pipes sticking out of the side there, and I might have a spillage of chemicals coming out of those, possibly going into a swamp, because I think that would look pretty good if I can squeeze one in. And the good thing is the swamp wouldn't need to be too deep or too big. It could just be 8 studs wide, and I'll be able to cram a lot of storytelling into that section. Now on the side here, obviously I need to put all of the vats and things like that, but I've got the platforms coming out from the top doorway as I had previously. Now somehow, whilst rebuilding this, I actually managed to extend it by 2 studs. No idea how I did that. I built it all up, I thought it was the same size, went to put the roof on, and the roof didn't fit. So yeah, don't know what happened, but never mind. Happy with how it's come out all the same. So the roof peels off and the front comes out, and the front just slides into the gap just down the bottom there. That keeps it in place, stops it falling out. Now it has changed very slightly on the inside. Previously the steps just went up on the side there. However, due to having the pipes in here now, I decided that I had to put the steps coming up this way and then going round. Now I do still need to put a hand railing on there and another one around this side here. and along here, but I just need to find the parts out for that, and also need to put the chemicals in the vats at the bottom there as well. But yeah, really happy with how this has come out, and a lot happy with the build now with these simple alterations to it. These sections here, they're slightly different as well. That one's smaller and that one's larger than it was previously. But again, I just wanted to mix up the style and the design of it a little bit. But at least now it is totally modular, so it's freestanding. I can place this anywhere in the docks. I can move it around until I'm happy I've got the docks area exactly how I want it. And here we are back at the docks area, and I've peeled the buildings off there, or at the back there, the Falcone warehouse and the nougat coloured building that was to the side of it. They came off really easily, and all I need to do is put a row of plates or 2 rows of plates around the bottom just to keep them nice and sturdy. And as I want them to be freestanding, so I can just move them along the docks to exactly where I want them to be. The one thing I will have to do once I have finished doing it is just modify the base of this, as the doors at the moment are on runners and they sink into the ground. So that's only one thing I may have to modify, unless I think of a different design for the doors, which could possibly be easier. And the reason I'm not putting a floor inside the warehouse is I want it so that if a forklift comes along the docks, it can just drive straight into the warehouse. Whereas if I put a floor on it, it's going to have a ramp to go up into it, which isn't the end of the world, but I think it'd just look better if it's just the same level as this. Now, talking of this area here, I've been looking at it, I've been looking at the city, and I just feel like I need more height. And the docks area is one place, it's just way too low. If I have a boat that comes in and it's up here, I don't like the idea of how far down the docks are compared with the side of the boat. I'd like it to be a lot closer. And the other thing as well, if I have got a boat, say the boat's up, the deck of the boat's up here, if you've got a building here, all of this is almost going to be lost. You're not going to be able to see it that easily unless you're standing from one end. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to experiment on a different base plate with a couple of designs. And I'm thinking about raising this up by about 6 bricks, maybe 7. This at the moment is very much a rundown look with the masonry bricks and then some round bricks, snot bricks and headlight bricks, and thinking I'm going to put a few more of the smooth bricks in here and also put some arches as well, as I think that might give it a lot more of a grander appeal, a lot better look basically. The other good thing as well, if I do raise this up by about 7 bricks, on the left hand side where I'm anticipating putting the Jacob Funhouse, I have visualised something that I thought that might look really cool, and I would need this to be higher and able to pull that off. So again, I think there's a lot of pluses with building this up a lot higher. So let's get get another base plate out. Let's start experimenting and see how it comes out. And this rainbow structure is what I'm going to be using for the foundations for the docks. So I've done the Mills plate just using the 2x plates and crisscrossed them over, and that's giving it a lot of strength. And then with the pillars, they're 7 bricks high here. A couple of rows of plates on there. Again, just keeping it nice and sturdy. And I'll be putting the art plates on top of that. What I might do then on top of the art plates is put another load of the 2x8 plates across the top of it and then plate it off. And the reason for doing that is the art plates are giving me a lot of strength. I can push down on it when I'm building. There's not any problems on that side of it. But if I put 2 rows of plates, if I do need to step down to do any little rails or anything for doors, then I'll be able to do so. Whereas if I just build straight onto the art plates or tile straight onto the art plates, I won't have that as an option further down the line. So let's put the art plates on here. Then I can do the wall on the front side there, ready for the sea. And here is the revised dock front, and a lot happy with the height of this. Now, at the front here, I've left a groove there, and that's going to be to put the railway line, which the crane runs along. So it's the same principle and design as before. And again, the same on the front here. There'll be some light bluish grey tiles and probably another road just the other side. Beyond that, where I previously had light bluish grey, I'm considering going over to dark bluish grey and actually having it so that the vehicles come to the front of the units, so the warehouses, as opposed to having a loading bay out the back. I just feel like it's going to enable me to not use up as much room. I think before, by having the loading bays at the back of the warehouses, it was using up a lot of room, which could be better used for other premises. So what I'm considering doing, putting the warehouses here, and then having another building behind it, which then goes down to a lower level. So the road will come in at this height, and it almost be like on a bridge, I'd imagine, coming onto this particular section. So again, there'll be a lot more interest in the build. So it's something I'm just thinking at the moment. So I'm not going to tile this off just yet until I've made that decision. So what I'm going to do now is move this back over to the table, bring over the next set of base plates, which are going to go on the end here, and work on that section. And that's the part that's going to hold hopefully hold the Joker Funhouse and the roller coaster. And that's the next section of the docks, all completed, ready to be tiled off on the top. And I left the gap in here for the runner, for the crane, should I need the crane to come all the way down this end. Now it steps back here, and the plan is I'm going to put some pillars here and then have a platform that comes out. Now I'm not sure how far out I'm going to make it come, and this is part of where the roller coaster is hopefully going to be coming over. But yeah, I just wanted to have something where there's a little bit of contrast on here, a little bit difference. But yeah, really happy with how the brickwork's come along. I think it looks a lot better having it all run down with the cracks in there and the chips out of the pillars. Just think it gives it that more weathered look you'd expect from a rundown Gotham City. But anyway, let's start work on the pillar section just here. And once I've done so, I'll check back in and show you how it's come out. And there is the platform that's coming out of the end of the dock section just there. Put some of these pre-moulded supports in the place underneath it and put all the water in now, as opposed to trying to get my fingers in there further down the line. This has been built partially into the top of the section just there. And I'm not sure what finish I'm going to have on here just yet, but we'll make our mind up further down the line. As you can see, I've started putting the water section back down along the front here. However, I do want to experiment, as I keep saying I'm going to do so, with the different trans blue and trans black tiles, as well as different colour plates underneath, and try and find something that looks as Gotham-y as possible. But anyway, let's move this section back over to the Gotham table and see how it looks. And here is the raised platform with the buildings just resting on the top there, waiting to be tiled off. And yeah, I'm a lot happier with this idea of having these as floating buildings, or buildings that are just freestanding. It means I can move them to the exact place where I want to without a lot of rebuilding, which has been a common problem whilst trying to work out what goes where in this Gotham City. And I'm thinking these buildings here, need to push them down that way a bit if I can. Free up as much space down this end for the Joker Funhouse, the roller coaster, and whatever else I want to put in that section. Now on the back here, I'm going to have it so the raised road that's coming along here will go onto the raised platform, and that's how vehicles that are dropping stuff off or collecting stuff from the warehouse will go. They'll go round to the front of the warehouses. It won't be to the rear. So those doorways there on the back of the buildings, they're going to be going. Now what I might do is bring the buildings back to the edge of the build there, free up as much space at the front and put loads of containers or crates or whatever on the front of it. So I need to make sure I leave enough room for the road first of all, and then they can go round either direction. Now Ace Chemicals, that needs to find a place, and I'm thinking about putting it just here. And what I'll do is I'll just drop it down a little bit. So I'll put another raised platform in, but it'll be a few bricks lower than that rest on there. I've got the pipes on the back where I want to have a spillage, so I want to try and put that in somehow. So whether or not I modify the shape of the raised platform to enable me to have a little area where you can see it pouring in. And I may even have it so it's actually spilling out into the canal water here as well. Now the good thing as well, by me doing away with the doors on the back of the warehouses, I no longer need this large area of parking or the trucks to reverse up to it. So I just do away with that part altogether so I can put more buildings in there. Now originally I was going to be putting the narrows along here, which I still want to do, but I would quite like to put the iceberg lounge around here. I think it'd be quite good to have that near the docks. So that is one thing I am thinking about. Whether or not that actually works or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm just going to have a good think about it and then make a decision from there. But yeah, it's really pleased with what I managed to get done this week. Getting all these details done on the wall has been so much fun. And now just need to work out and place the order for the roller coaster pieces. Because once I've got those roller coaster pieces, I can actually start work on the funhouse, I know how much room I need. So I think once I get the track in, I'll map out where that's going on here. I can then move the buildings accordingly so they've got enough space themselves as well. And then I can work out exactly how big the Joker funhouse is going to be. And I want that to have quite a bit of colour as well, without it being too bright, but just what you would expect from the Joker. Anyway, that's all we've got time for in this update. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in Gotham, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.